Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. My name is Shayna Allen. I am a Team Isogenics athlete and I am a CrossFit competitor as well. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you tonight about kind of my story and what I do and some tips and suggestions I think that could help other athletes as well as CrossFitters, not specific to CrossFitters, but obviously that is where my experience lies, but in athletes just in general. So I'm just going to share a little bit about how I started with Isogenics. And I started about 4 years ago. After my second baby, I was having some problems losing the baby weight. And I was working out a lot and really, really tired. And just that midsection area, right around your stomach, is where I was having some really big issue losing that weight. And so what I did was one of my good friends had told me about her workout program and about Isogenics, which is a really high quality meal supplement system that I started and had really, really great results. And for me, coupling that with CrossFit, I just had amazing results in terms of seeing more of my abs. I had never had abs as defined as that before, and I had never had as much energy, and I was sleeping better. And for me, because I am a CrossFitter, I've tried so many different things. I've tried paleo, zone dieting, raw diet, juicing. I've tried all these different things. And this is the one thing that I have found that out of everything is the easiest, especially on the go, and gives me the most energy and helps me recover quicker. And what I had done actually to test this out was my coach, before we were going to put a team together for regionals, he required everyone that wanted to go for the team to try out basically a Whole30 diet or a paleo diet, which, if you're not familiar with that, that's eliminating anything that's processed. That's eliminating, sugar. So basically we stuck to meats, fruits and veggies, maple syrup, and raw honey. And so those are the things that were allowed. And so I took out my shakes and, the things that I would consume daily before and after and during my workouts. And I think I made it about 2 weeks, because what I had noticed was that my PRs, my personal records, were not increasing. My recovery time was increasing, which means that it was taking my body longer to recover. My muscles were more sore for longer periods of time, and I wasn't able to do the workouts as rigorously and as frequently as I had been doing them before. And then I also realized I was spending much more time in the kitchen, a lot more time at the grocery store, and it was just had become a lot more time consuming. And so that, to me, right there was a huge testament that what I was doing prior to that was really working and really helping me to take it to the next level. And for me, I'm a little bit older than most people that were working out in my gym. So I attended a gym that were young 20-somethings. So I was fighting for a spot on a regional team. So 3 girls and 3 guys. And, a lot of the other girls, most of the other girls were young and could spend a lot of time in the gym. So for me, I needed to really get the most out of my time in the gym and really make the most of my time there and be able to recover quickly so that I could get right back in the gym. And obviously I had about 1 to 2 hours that I was able to work out. And some of the girls that, were working out in the gym and didn't have families or didn't have kids were able to spend much longer in the gym. So, for me, like I said, that's just something that really works for me. And everyone is so different. So you really have to see where exactly, your life, what you're looking for in your life and how it fits with your body type. For those of you who are on the call and who are currently with Isogenics, I just wanted to go over a few things that I incorporate daily. So a lot of people ask me, about my routine and what I do day to day and how I incorporate the products. And so I want to go over that a little bit, and then I'll open it up for questions if anybody has any questions. So my daily routine is typically I'll CrossFit and I'll work out 5 days a week. And then one of the days, like a Saturday or a Sunday, I try to do yoga or an active recovery day. And so my typical day when I'm CrossFitting is I'll wake up in the morning. I usually have a cup of coffee. And I also do what I call the morning elixir. So I do a scoop of greens and a scoop of cleanse, a scoop of ionics, and apple cider vinegar, about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That has so much, apple cider vinegar has so many health benefits. Definitely take a look on Google or research that, but it's really, really good for you. And I just find that it's so great to get greens first thing in the morning into your body, because your day gets so crazy and you might forget. Greens are so great for bringing that acidity back down out of your body, which is why I recommend to also take it after you work out. But we build up so much, not only toxins in our body, but also just acidity, all that acidity in our body, especially when we lift a lot of weight. So getting it back to an alkaline level, greens really helps with that. And powdered greens, I prefer that because, let's just face it, I'm not going to the store and buying spirulina and kale and all of these greens and making them or putting them in a shake. It's just, we just don't do that. And with our soils being so depleted as they are, the vegetables just don't have all of the nutrients that they once did. So powdered greens, I prefer that. So I do that first thing in the morning. And then I have my morning shake. And I usually have either an Isoline or an Isoline Pro. And the difference between the two of those is just the amount of protein. So Isoline has less protein and Isoline Pro has more protein. But they both have all the amino acids and live enzymes and all these great vitamins and minerals that our body needs. So I do that with just with water, and then just with water and then a good fat. So typically a tablespoon of almond butter or a half a tablespoon of coconut oil. I really recommend getting a good fat in as soon as you wake up to really start your metabolism and get it going. And then throughout the day, I usually have about 3 meals or 3 snacks, just comprising of lean meats and fruits and veggies, a sweet potato, brown rice, things like that. I have that throughout the day, drink tons of water. And then before I work out, I do a scoop of Pro, which is just straight protein. So it's just 18 grams of protein. And I mix that with our pre-workout, which is creatine. And then I also mix that with an e-shot and a little bit of water. And I mix all that up and I drink it before I work out. The great thing about the e-shots are, for one thing, it's green tea and it's more adaptogens. So it's not like a 5-hour energy where you drink it and your heart rate's beating really, really fast and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta work out. And then you crash and you want to go to sleep. It is not like that at all. It's awesome. It gives you a steady increment, or a steady release rather, of energy in your body. And then you slowly come back down from that. So it's not a woo and a crash. It's really nice. And then while I work out, I again do a scoop of Replenish and a scoop of Ionics. I think I forgot to say that my morning one, did I say that? My morning one has Ionics in it in the morning. I don't know if I remember to say that or not. But so during my workout, I do a scoop of Replenish and a scoop of Ionics, and sometimes I'll throw a scoop of greens in there. I don't think you can ever have too many greens. And then after I work out, I do my Isoline Pro, which has more protein in it, and I mix that with a scoop of greens and 2 scoops of the Recover. So the Recover has a lot of amino acids in it. It's really great for our body. We don't want our bodies to go into the negative with amino acids, because then your body's working overtime to create more amino acids. So if you can get some in immediately after working out, that's a really, really good thing for you to be able to do. And then obviously fish oil, especially when we're taxing our bodies so much, I recommend getting more fish oil, especially on those days where you're lifting a lot of weights or you're really, really pushing yourself. I do the vitamin packs, which are morning and night vitamin packs, and they're designed for men or designed for women. And then I don't have to think about it. You know, you don't have to go to the vitamin store and go pick out like, you know, a canister of vitamin D and a vitamin C and, you know, all of these different things. It's just, bam, it's a pack. It's exactly what you need. Iso omegas, so you've got your fish oil in there, vitamin C, CoQ10, all that good stuff. But then on top of that, I do take additional iso omegas as well. I take about 4 extra a day. So there's 2 in the packs, and then I take 4 on top of that, as well as some extra vitamin C. Especially in the winter, just to make sure that, you know, I'm staying healthy and not getting sick. And then just drinking a lot of water. So that's basically my routine. I wanted to open it up if anybody had questions. So I am going to go ahead and unmute everybody. And then if you have any questions, just go right ahead. No questions?
Now, let me see. The so when you finish your workout, you have that scoop of the Isa Pro, right? Not the packet, just the pure.
No, after I work out, I have the packet. I have the Isoline Pro. So, but that is just going to depend. I mean, if you are going to have a meal shortly after you work out, then you can just do a scoop of Pro. So you just get the protein. And then I recommend, if you're just going to do the protein, do greens and recover. And then let's say a half an hour later, an hour later, you're going to have a meal. So sometimes I will do that as well. But for the most part, I usually do Isoline Pro right after. Yeah, so there are, just to kind of explain, there are 3 different proteins. So there's Isoline, which has 24 grams of protein. Isoline is a full meal replacement. So it has a 24 grams of protein, and it actually is a zone. I think it's, if you're familiar with zone, I think it's a 4 block. So it's got all the right fats, proteins, and carbohydrates that you need. So it's properly zoned for you. And it's, I believe it's like a 3 or a 4 block zone. So there's Isoline, that's a full meal replacement. And then there's Isoline Pro, that is also a full meal replacement. It has less carbs than the Isoline, and it has more protein. So then just the Pro is just protein, and it has 18 grams of protein and amino acids, but it doesn't have any additional fats or carbohydrates or vitamins or minerals added to that. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of the difference with the different kind of proteins. One thing that I did leave out is I do also take the Knox, which is basically like beetroot juice, celery root juice, and I take that about 2 hours prior to working out. Some really cool research that they've done on beetroot juice is that they find that when you're using that, I think it was 15%, I think it was like up to 15% more energy was released into athletes' muscles when they're using the beetroot juice. So there's been some really great research done on it. So if you're an athlete and you really want that competitive edge, I highly recommend consuming that Knox. I usually do it an hour and a half to 2 hours prior to working out. However, you can take it the night before if you're going to work out first thing in the morning and you don't have enough time to wait, because it does stay in your body for up to 24 hours. Another thing I do want to say about the beetroot juice is don't brush your teeth before you take it, and swish it around in your mouth so you can get all of the active like enzymes working in your mouth, and then it mixes with the beetroot juice, and that's how it gets into your bloodstream quicker. So that's another thing that I do as well. And I just found that CrossFit just really works well with Isagenix. I found that both communities are all about building each other up and, having a strong community. They both really care about children and health and fitness and, brain development and bringing goodness and people together. And so I've just found that the two coincide so well and are such great partnerships. I feel like they're so similar. And so that's really why I have enjoyed using, basically participating in CrossFit and then utilizing Isagenix to not only increase my performance, but to bring it together as a whole community. Are there any other questions? And if you do have questions, I got a couple questions through the chat. So if you want to send me a question through that as well, you can do that too.
Can we put the shake, like in the morning, you said you take isolene, the regular, the 24 grams, and the isolene pro, you put almond butter and coconut butter, coconut oil. Can you add both, or does it have to be one?
You could. I would just be careful of the fat. So basically the servings that I stick to is one serving. I do a half of a serving basically. So I consider one serving of fat, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and 2 tablespoons of almond butter. So if you did want to do half and half, then you would actually have to do 1/4 of a tablespoon of coconut oil and like a half of a tablespoon of almond butter. Do you know what I mean? Like if you wanted to do like half of a serving of coconut oil and half of a serving of almond butter, if you wanted to put them both in there. So, I mean, I think it's really important to get good fat in early in the morning in your diet, but you don't want to do too much. So I would stick to a half of a serving or 1 serving first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And I usually, if you have the new pina colada flavor, coconut oil goes so well with that. It's really, really good because it already has kind of like a coconut, pineapple flavor. So coconut oil goes really well with that. And I don't heat it up either. I get a lot of questions about that. I don't melt the coconut oil, because some people are like, oh, do you just, I just scoop out a tablespoon, put it in my shake and blend it up and it's not lumpy or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Because I have to be honest, I was adding 1 teaspoon of almond butter and not a full teaspoon of the coconut oil, but I'm like, okay, so, okay.
Yeah. So I would add a little bit more then. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No questions.
No more questions.
I forgot. Thank you for saying about the Knox. I forgot about that you have to like, have it in your mouth.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes, it's good. It's very, very important to swish it around in your mouth. And like I said, don't brush your teeth because that will mess with your mouth's enzymes as well. So make sure that, you swish it around and then go brush your teeth because everybody knows you want to brush your teeth in the morning before you talk to people. So just do that after.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you learned something and found this valuable, and I would be more than happy to do this again as well. So thank you so much for joining me, and have a great week coming up.
Thank you.
All right.